Alright, really quick, we're transitioning back to the heater. I'm gonna see if I can pull off the circuit board on this without pulling the water system apart, which would make life a lot easier for me to do. Plus I can check the fan. I want to check this fan, make sure it operates for one, and do a short circuit. I gotta get my leads for this, but and check the ohm values on it, because that last video I was editing, I noticed that it said that the fan was messing up. So I don't remember if I checked it or not, but I didn't check it this last time whenever I went through and did all the resistance checks on everything. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, I got it off. I got the circuit board off. The fan is testing at 102,000 ohms. The one that I bought that said it was working tested right around less than that, actually. Does it have a Hall effect sensor on it? This one didn't have a Hall effect sensor on it. Maybe it did and it fell off. This one's testing at like 200 ohms. And it works. I tested it. It works. I'm going to hook it up to this one and see if this one will work with some power. As soon as I figure out where my leads went, because I left them out here and I drove around town. Yes, they are still in here. Look at that. They look gross. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. This should be supplying power now. This may be a blown fuse in this, and the only way to check it is disconnect it and hook it up to that. So let's check that real quick. This is blown. Oh crap, I can't even get my finger. Oh, it's working. Well, we know that's good. So maybe my fan's bad. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to disconnect it from everything. The fan's where you can't check it. It's underneath the circuit board. Circuit board sits there and everything else. Maybe that's what actually went out initially. Fan just went out on it. There's a little thing that goes on the bottom of this, and it's not on this one. It should be. I'm gonna go through my videos, see if I can find it. Actually, I can't because my videos are on the computer, because I pulled them off to save space. But this one has one. I might have to move it over to that one. Looks like my fan made this shorted out. That'd be nice, right? Alright, well, I tested it. I know it's the fan that's bad. I just tested it. It tests as an open. They don't sell this as a service as a whole part. This and the motherboard are all separate parts if they sell it, and it's like $400 online. I'm so annoyed with it. It's really simple, but they made it very complex to access. Anyhow, I was just going to try to pull it out, but this is that metal plastic stuff that's probably on an interference fix and probably won't pull off because I tried. See, it didn't work that good. That one, if you look at the bottom, has a different shape than this one, because this one's like 10 years older and this one's 10 years newer. Now, I'm thinking about ordering a brand new petrol one, but I can't see the inside, so I can't tell if there's difference. So if they'll swap out, I don't really want to abandon this whole process, because this is my heat for everything. I mean, it's like starting over from scratch, and I was hoping to get 5 years out of it before it crapped out. Or maybe it just got moisture in there, that's why it crapped out. Next thing I'm going to do is try to pull these tabs up on this one, see if I can pull the core out. But being that this doesn't want to come out, and I can't heat it up because it's a plastic, metal plastic, that's kind of what it is. Acts like metal and heat resistant, but you can't melt it. It's very annoying. I might even see if I can get a screwdriver in that hole, but that probably threw off the balance of the whole thing. You can kind of see through it right there. Yeah, maybe I can pull off that bottom piece there and shove the shaft all the way through it. Anyhow, this one's pretty much toast anyhow, so I might as well just tear into it. You know, I kind of wonder if I can just throw this together with what I got and make it work. My concern is maybe it's going to indent that and it's going to make full clearance. I should see if I can just throw it in there and see if I can make this old one work. That would be nice, right? If not, we may just have to do our own fan setup. Oh no, I'm gonna mess with this a little bit and see if there's a way to work around it. Well, so much for that idea. It doesn't fit because there's not enough clearance for here for the burner / unit to fit in there. After looking at it some time, I've decided that I want to try to remove the fan blade without destroying it to use the other fan blade. I tried prying up on the broken one first, and it chipped out. So I went ahead and tore it apart the rest of the way to see if there's any way to get it off without tearing apart the other one. Okay, my fear is with it is it's a brittle plastic that doesn't machine well, but what I'm going to try is using a drill and drill some holes in the top of the fan so I can access the bolts on the motor underneath
holes
it.
Drilled it. Looks like if I had to drill them so big that I can get the heads of the screws out, I might be messing up the strength and function of the part because I'm guessing it spins at a really high RPM. And maybe it'll cause stress on it. I'm definitely going to probably run into one of these fins. So once I get it apart and back together, I'm probably going to have to, drop some stuff on it, but it's probably going to throw it out of bounds too. So maybe if I only drill the holes big enough to get the right size bit in there, I can do it the other way and I don't pull the screws out here. I still leave the screws in there. This gives me access to unscrew and screw all the way around and unscrew and screw it back together the same pattern. That way it doesn't interfere. Although going back together should be fine, it's just pulling it apart. So if I pull it apart and have just enough room for the tool to get in there to unscrew them and equally do it all the way around, it's time consuming and a pain in the butt. And then we can drop the motor out, and then whenever we're ready to put the motor in, we can just put the screws into the motor and then drop it on top. And it's a fun interference fit thing. The motor came out once I removed the screws. Pretty much there because everything's so hushed up and tight down. They sell it as a complete unit because you can't really get that fan blade off without it falling apart, and that's probably part of their security for their stuff. But all it is just a motor that rotates a fan in here that blows it in there. You might be able to do something else. I hate it when corporations or companies take it and make it where you can't repair it, especially when it's cheap and easy to do it yourself. And it was fine whenever they first did it because they had excellent customer service, but I couldn't get a hold of them. They never got a hold of me. And I watch this be the time that they get a hold of me and tell me, nope, hold the video down. You can't do that. You can't tear apart your own stuff and look at it and analyze it. So you don't have to be cold this winter. You can't do that, no. Well, 3 holes I did, only like one of them actually lines up. That's okay, it's working. I can get a half a turn out of each one of them and back it off and slowly back the motor out. I have a extension, but I have a wrench on it so I have more control. And I can just drop that in there, in that bolt hole, and do a half a turn and just rotate the whole piece around with me. And then whenever I won't move anymore, I can pull out on the engine, or out on the motor, and slowly back it off, and I should be able to get this motor out. And then I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about that sensor on the bottom, the Hall effect sensor, which I'm pretty sure that's what that is. I need to get that off of this one, provided everything else matches up. Maybe I'll see if I can unfold that and just pull the whole back off. It also let me know what's going on the inside because I'm gonna pull into tear into that a little farther. Alright. Right, well, I got them out. I got that one is big enough to get them all out. So I'm going to go grab a 3-way jaw press and put that on there and see if I can push the motor out to the back. Well, it seems to be working. Get a little more on it, I can get something underneath it and then press it down the rest of the way. I think once I get it off, it'll come off all the way. Well, I ended up canceling the press and just using a good old punch and a hammer to get it out, but it's out in one piece. Nothing else. We got a good 3D scan should we want to redo it. Kind of mar that up. That's okay. This is going to be the donor anyhow. Yeah, it's out. I need to go check and make sure it runs and then make sure everything matches up okay. To get it off is get underneath it with some pliers and lift up, and the Hall effect sensor came off. It's just press fit. I'll put it on there and we'll put it back together here in a second. Well, I mean, they're close enough to be similar. This is a little smaller on the older one versus the new one. Probably had to extend that for the O-ring. I don't think it's going to matter because I'm going to just throw a regular O-ring in there and call it good. Everything else looks like it matches. Even the blower motor actually matches. We're lucked out there. So it will actually go on there just fine. So we are getting a little lucky. Maybe we will succeed at this, or it'll be a horrible vibration once we get all back together. All right, just pressing on, got it drove down. I think I pushed it down a little bit too far, actually. I wonder. Oh, sure does stick up a lot higher than the other one. Oh, it's going to be something that's going to be... it looks like it still fits. I get the ring on there, the seal that goes on there. This is the other one. It runs. And all I had to do is put the motherboard on and put it back together and see if it runs. So... I'll see if I can find an aftermarket motor for it too. This is always a hard part. When you put it back together, let me see if I can turn on the light. You put it back together, you got to make sure that these pieces, the pieces in there get on the blades of the motor, otherwise it will not run. So once you got it on there, you can easily just kind of push it down and in there. There we go. We got a completed engine unit. Now I just put the screws in it. We go put the rest of it back together, hook everything up, plug it in, bleed the system, see if it runs. I had to take a grinder and grind it down. I don't, even if it leaks a little bit of air out the top of this thing, I think that's why the cover's here, because this ain't a perfect fit here, so they put this cover here is to keep the air inside and in the space. So I'm going to shove that back on there. It fits down better now too. And get the O-ring all pushed in there and get it back together. Alright, I just got done bleeding the whole system. That's why it's all wet, which is why I hate dealing with this. What I need is a couple shutoffs right up here. So to get all this moisture, and I hate the feeling of antifreeze. This is a pet-friendly antifreeze, which is $50 a gallon, basically. It's expensive. That's the other reason I don't like working on this, because it's very expensive. Alright, here's the first plug-in. Ooh, that's a noisy fan. Oh, this is a lot farther than we got before. Oh, hey, look, it's lighting. Oh, come on, light, I want you to work. Come on, it's the first time in 6 months. Oh, we got smoke. Oh, it's firing up. Holy cow, that actually worked. We got fire. Oh, look at that smoke cooking off all that stuff and everything. Oh, look at that. Dad's gonna have a lot of smoke coming off of everything. Where's that coming from? Oh, it's all coming from the cooker. Ooh, look at that fire. You gotta smoke all that off and it'll all disappear. Pretty sure. Ooh. Wonder how long it'll run. Recycling back out. I don't have the fan going in there. Oh, hey, yeah, that worked nice too. That's new. This is all. Ooh, that feels nice and tight too. This is new. Still running. I'm gonna go kick on the vent fan so it in there and warms the basement. Okay. Does this feel warm? Oh, hey, it's warm. Holy cow. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Yes. Happy. Happy. Joy. Joy.
Are we still pumping out? We still got hot exhaust coming out too. Let's see if running that fan sucks some of the heat out of it, gets it kicked up. I don't really care if it runs more power. Oh, it shut down. I am very happy right now. I'm hoping, let's hope this stays and it works. I'm trying not to, get too excited, but I want it to work. It should still be going though. Probably still air. Oh, it's kicking back on because it's getting more air movement. This is a new controller with aftermarket controller I bought. This should start getting warm in here too. I did a lot of system work to the system to make it air bleed better. Make sure everything bleeds air better. So that's part of it. Let's see. That's the fill. It's a reserve tank and overflow. I need to get a little line facing down so to ever overflow. It never has. Anything flowing water? Nothing's really flowing water right now. Let's see if I can pull it down and get it to flow more water. I think what we're this running into right now is this air in the system, which is such a pain in the butt because it's not really designed great. The red light's on. And if you don't know, the red lights means that I have certain things are on to let water flow. I've probably just got air in the system. Yeah, I got air in the system. Alright, here we go. It's one of the things I don't really like about the system is... Oh look, we get some air moving through the system again. The more air gets out, the better off this thing will run. That big thing is for removing air and slowing the air movement down out of your hydraulic system. So like if you have a central boiler, which is basically how this system works, that is a air remover with a float valve on top of it that removes the air from the system. It just needs a run. And what I probably should be doing instead of running heat through my system right now, which I'm very happy that it's working right now, is just bypass the pump and have it running and go drive around and shake it up and back on. Basically I just need to drive it and get some air out of the system, which is probably what I'll do. This means if I get all bled and get everything working again to where it comes on and I feel like I can trust it again, means I'm off-griddable, and which means I can travel again. I'm not worried. I really didn't want to travel with a broken heater and a broken truck both. I don't really want to travel with a broken truck right now, but the heater's kicking on, goes down when it loses fuel pressure, and then whenever it gains a little water pressure, the heater kicks on. Yay! I'm very happy. You don't know how long I've been working on this. I've literally, last January, December, it crapped out on me. And I realize now there's two parts I replaced on it. For one, my overheat temperature was out of zone. It was way... That's just the air going into the system. That's the air system working. Which also saves me a lot of trouble. It just needs to sit here and run now, versus me manually going through the whole system and removing all the heat systems out. Oh yeah. So this is gonna run. It's just gonna run. That's what it's gonna do. Let's go. It keeps. I keep getting air out of the system. That's good. Kind of smells a little like antifreeze out here, but probably because of smoke, it's removing antifreeze off the deal. But anyhow, last December when we got back from Colorado, it crapped out on me and I couldn't get it going. And so the heater itself, we replaced the high temperature sensor right there, kind of. Of course, at this point, my whole system's already screwed if I can't get it fixed. It's just a little O-ring in there with the double temperature thing. Now, I'm kind of curious if there's water that flows in there. Kind of suspect there is water that flows in there. That's why it has a compression ring behind it. Everything else, I'm going to try to pull that one out too. And let's see if I can just leave it together and put it on the other one. They say it's a non-serviceable part, but we'll see. and we replaced the fan. So I think initially the high temperature heater device was going out of spec, and that's why that fitting that I had in there melted. I'm guessing it got it too hot with the pressure system, or it just melted over multiple times of using. It was on there for a year, so I wouldn't think it was actually that. I think it just got too hot, and then it just melted off. So anyhow, and then with me constantly restarting and shutting down, restarting and trying to figure it out, that one, I think that's when the fan quit working. And being that it's inside, it's hard to check, and if you don't check it, you don't know it. Oh man, yeah, this is good. This is so good. I'm don't want to let myself fully enjoy it right yet, because this is like the most I've had from it. Plus, considering that whole part is the unworkable part, you can't buy that. You have to buy that whole back section on the heater if you want to buy it from the manufacturer. They do not sell individual parts, and you can't get individual parts. They also say it's unserviceable because as you've seen that first one I pulled apart, it actually broke and I couldn't get it out. But by drilling holes in the right way, so I saved money by getting a spare heater for $100. It was $50 for the heater and $50 for the shipping. It took almost 20 days to get here. I paid $200 for the glow plug because I thought that was an initial problem, but I went ahead and replaced it. Let me find the other glow plug because that's a $200 glow plug. I'm analyzing the board right now because I don't think you should have to have their software to analyze it. And I have it shipped to my new location. It's not here. I wouldn't have it with me because I had a planned date to leave a month and a half ago. I have not left yet because I really am going to go somewhere colder than where I am, and I needed heat. I think I'm going to clean up right now because this means it's ramping up again. I'm just going to leave it running. But technically, I mean, I should just run the other side. But it's slowly getting the heat and everything out of the system, so I'm just going to let it run. And keep an eye on it because safeties and everything else, and go from there.